All right. Well, aloha kakahiaka, everyone. Today is July 29th, 2022. We're starting a little bit early over here to kind of warm up everything and get everything kind of flying. We are talking about Maui, everything you want to know about Maui, but we're afraid to ask. And I've got some great friends there that are with me to kind of talk about this. We've got Heidi Dollinger. Now, many of you will recognize, of course, Heidi. She's with us every other week to talk about real estate, and we have our special guest here. Liza Pierce, who is Lisa Pierce is with us. She's an author. She wrote these books, and I've known Lisa online for a while as a fellow blogger. So let's give a first welcome to Lisa. Lisa, welcome. Unmute yourself and say hello to everybody.
That's right. I have to unmute.
That's
Hello,
right.
aloha, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is exciting. Thank you, Peter, for inviting. And hi, Heidi.
Yeah, we're really happy to have you here. And normally, what we do, Lisa, is this period we kind of warm this thing up here with talking about our favorite coffee. Well, Heidi talks about her coffee. Now, the guys talk about their aloha shirts. Heidi talks about her coffee. So, Heidi, give us a shout out, warm up the microphone, and tell us what's your coffee of the day today.
Well, I walked to my favorite coffee shop, which is badass. It's just about a block away from where I live. So I think it's important to get outside every morning and go on a walk and do something before I start my day. And it's just, I mean, one of the joys of living on Maui is to be able to do that and walk outside and see the ocean and the sunshine. So I'm grateful to be here.
Yeah, that makes two of us grateful to be here. So all right, uh, so Heidi does her coffee and the walk in the morning. What's your morning ritual, Lisa?
Okay, so I'm more of a tea person, a chai tea person. So I love getting chai tea. I make it at home, but when I go outside, I go to Akamai Coffee. And again, that's local business, taking care of our local entrepreneurs, just supporting them. So yeah, Akamai Coffee.
I got my coffee. Awesome, excellent. Heidi, are you familiar with you being the coffee connoisseur of the group? Are you familiar with Akamai Coffee?
Yes, it's very good. I think they have one in Kihei, and that's the one I've been to, and it's excellent.
Yeah, excellent. Well, hey, I want to give a shout out to one of my oldest viewers on the Living in Hawaii YouTube channel, Lawrence. So Lawrence Web Dev, we see you there, buddy. How's it going? I hope you're well and welcome back. Look, if you're with us on the channel, feel free to give us a shout out and say hello. We'd like to recognize you and welcome you to what we're doing over here. All right, let's move on. It's about 9 o'clock. I think it's the right time to get started here. Let's first, hey, listen, if you're visiting us from if you did not get here through the newsletter from livinginhawaii.com, make sure you get on that newsletter. Just go to livinginhawaii.com. A thing will pop up, and you could put in your email address and get on the newsletter. That's how you got the invites. That's how you kind of showed up. And we have Judy Webb. Hey, welcome back, Judy. Judy is an alumni of the Islander Ohana, and Judy, it's great to have you here. It's totally awesome. And so yeah, so let's get started. So we're here to talk about. So what was cool about this is that Lisa, do you go by Lisa or Liz? What do you normally?
Lisa.
Lisa. Okay.
Lisa.
So I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, Lisa. And you know
Lisa.
what? Sometimes they hear me with the S and I answer to both. Lisa or Liza.
Well, what do you use? How do you
Lisa.
refer to your Lisa? So
Thank you.
Lisa, yeah, absolutely. So Lisa she wrote this book a while ago, and I thought, hey, this is kind of really cool. Here's someone who's written a book, which is more than I could ever probably do, and it's a book about Maui. And I figured, why not? Let's do a show and talk about some key things about Maui. And since Heidi is of course, our Maui regular every other week, I thought it'd be kind of fun. So this is what it's all about, and we're here to talk about Maui. And we have Megan. Hey, Megan, awesome. Megan, welcome, Megan. I'm so glad that you're here. Megan is an alumni of the Islander Ohana, and Megan moved to Maui. Megan, I'd love to kind of hear how it's been. You're coming up on kind of close to a year there, as if I'm not mistaken. Love to hear. She's from Northwest Maui, and Patrick is with us. Great, Patrick. Good to have you back. Patrick, do you have an announcement that you'd like to make? By the way, I'm curious about that. Great to have you back here, Patrick, with us, and we also have Auntie Joyce. Auntie Joyce. It's never no such thing as late, right? This is not a formal meeting, so it's aloha time. It's Hawaiian time. You get to you get here when you get here, right? That's the way it always works. So we're glad to have you here. Rawhide is here. Yes, she said Liza. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Rawhide. We're glad to have you with us. All right, excellent. All right, so listen. So I got a bunch of slides. So here's the rule, and you all know the rule here. Rule per se. The rule is if you got questions, pop them in now. You're the one that are here. You're here with us live. Your questions have a priority. I've got a bunch of questions lined up. We got a bunch of slides. We got a bunch of things that we're going to talk about. But what you folks want to know about Maui is what matters most. It's everything you want to know about Maui, but we're afraid to ask, right? Right, Rawhide? Exactly. Okay, good. So let's do this. Let's start this party off over here. So this is, a lot of these things track a lot of the topics that you've got in your book. Now, hold on a quick second, Lisa. Let's just talk about that book just for a quick second before we go on, because this is the book that you've got over here is like drove a lot of the chapters. Really, really quick. You've got what? You've got Maui Now and Beyond is the book that you've written, and what you're in the you're writing another one, this Maui Vacation Planners and Journal. Is that what's going on?
Actually, the Maui Now and Beyond is a sequel of the original. This is the original book, Maui 2021 and Beyond. And so you can see there's a year 2021, and I added a lot of the COVID restrictions, the requirements for COVID and everything. I thought at that time it's needed that we have a travel book that outlined all those requirements. And so now that we've opened up and no more requirements, I'm doing a second edition, and that's what you see Maui Now and Beyond out there. And then I thought, well, some people are really not into books. They like watching video, like they watch our live stream, and then they learn from the video. So I thought, why not make a travel journal, vacation planner and journal? And those who don't want to read the book and just want to watch a video can just write down their notes on the journal. So that's how it started.
That's a great idea. Excellent. That's okay. Good. So now we know the genesis. And I thought that you did a really good job. As I read the Maui the original book, the Maui 2021 and Beyond. I thought the chapters were well organized, and in fact, I figured it'd be a great way to kind of throw some topics up here on the show and bring them. So let's get to our first one over here. So the first topic that we got here is best time to visit Maui. So I'd like to hear from let's go in reverse now. Let's go to Heidi and then to you, Lisa. If you were going to, Heidi, when your family and your friends ask you, hey, when's the best time to visit Maui? Of course, any time to Hawaii is a fantastic time. We all know that any time is a great time. But Heidi, what would be your favorite time if you were gonna kind of plan a trip for yourself, so to speak? When would be the best time that you would want to visit Maui?
Well, it's always a great time to visit Maui. The most popular time, I think, is January, February, March. And that's the best time to come if you want to see the whales, because the humpback whales are here, especially off the coast of West Maui. So that's a fantastic time to come in the winter. But if you want to come during a time that's maybe a little less busy, but also quite beautiful, end of August, September, October, May are also great times to come. I mean, there's never a total off season, but it might be, a little less busy then. And the water is calm in the summer in general. I mean, unless we have some kind of storm in the ocean, but and also you can go parasailing in the summer, and you can't do that during whale season. So
there you go. You can't go. That's right. You can't go parasailing in the wrong season for sure. Thanks, Heidi. Hey, so before we get to you, Lisa, I want to hear from you. I'm going to give a quick response. Thanks, Megan, for responding. So it's been 14 months now. Okay, time flies when you're living the dream, doesn't it? Isn't that? That's what it is, right? We pinch ourselves every day. We're so grateful to be here, and for the Islander Ohana making this dream come true for us. Megan, you're very welcome. It was great having you on our cohort. It was fabulous. And so what a great line and great, it's amazing. I can't believe it's been 14 months. I remember, us talking through the thing and you guys were all excited about it. So Ben, let's see, Ben put a question about golf. We're going to get to your golf question in just a sec. So Liza, what's your advice, in that you go into more detail in your book, of course, what would you say is the best time to come to Maui?
Yeah, well, I like how you asked Heidi when you said, what's the best time for you, Heidi, if you're going to come? Because that's actually the key answer in my book is the best time is really what's the best time for you. So I outline in the book the different pros and cons of each season. And like what Heidi said, there's that we call it in tourism industry, the low season of tourists, wherein it's more quiet, less people, the September, October. In addition, it's less expensive, hotels, travel, expenses. So that can be for someone who's looking to travel on a budget. For me, if you're going to ask me, I love Christmas. There's so much fun activities on Maui in Christmas time. So I'd come in December. And then like what Heidi said, I'll see the whales too.
Oh, that's no, that's I never kind of thought about hearing from a Christmas. I like Christmas perspective. That is something new. I can see the whales. The whales make a lot of sense, right? From Heidi's perspective, or if you're surfing, etc. It depends on what you want to. If you want the North Shore, the big surf on the North Shore, or the small stuff on the South Shore. That's interesting. That's a great response. Ben's asking, how's the golf? Let's talk about golf. And actually, well, Megan already kind of popped the excellent. Megan popped the answer here. Ben, the golf is amazing. My husband's home course is the Plantation, which is every golfer's dream. You can't beat the local rates either. So let's hit it from the golf perspective. So Liza, is there anything? What would you say to Ben about the golf in Hawaii?
It's excellent. So there are two areas. When you talk about Maui, you always talk about, are you on the south side or the west side? So the Plantation and the Kapalua golf course are excellent on the west side. On the south side where I live, there's the Wailea golf course. There's, what they call blue course. And, if you just Google Wailea golf course, you'll see how amazing it is. So golf is excellent here on Maui, in my opinion. Even though I don't play golf, I have a lot of friends who play golf.
Yeah, I'm not a golfer myself, but the views are amazing. Heidi, we never talked about this earlier. Are you a golfer, or what's your golf advice for Ben?
Well, I am not a golfer, and I'm not qualified to give any kind of golf advice, but I have been on quite a few of the golf courses, and the views are spectacular. On West Maui, there's the Plantation course, the Bay course in Kapalua. There's also the Kanapali golf course. It seems like a golfer's dream here. There's more golf courses to try. So, plus the weather's great. I think the golfing challenge is some days can be pretty windy. So I hear about that sometimes from golfers out there.
Yeah, I'm not a golfer myself. I'm a surfer. I just tried it once when I was young and never got into it. But it's amazing. Ben, I've heard from a lot of friends and family who have golfed. It's just you could just kind of see it yourself. Just drive by the golf courses, and the views are just absolutely stunning. There is nothing like it out there, which is that's my 2 cents on the golf. Chris is back. Chris Longley. Hey, Christopher, welcome back. Great to have you back. Happy Aloha Friday, Peter, Heidi. Liza, mahalo for doing this show and all your bi-weekly show, Peter. Yeah, you know what, Chris, it's my pleasure, and it's my love. So I am living the dream. This is part of what the whole fun is, and doing all of these things. And Chris is a mini golf. There you go. Mini golf is fun. The mini golf. There's actually a beautiful mini golf course on Oahu on the windward side, and you got the Ko'olau backdrop which is really really cool. Paul, hey Paul, welcome. Paul is a long time subscriber to the YouTube channel. Paul, good to see you, buddy. Disc golf is a lot more fun. That would be interesting. I wonder if anyone's got any disc courses. Auntie Joyce says Kapalua has great views from the golf courses. I remember. Yeah, that is the whole thing, right? It is all about the amazing views. I think those giant those incredible backdrops are just the mountains. To me, it's like mountain. Yeah, well, mountain and ocean, right? I mean, but there's something about a mountain view that's just unbelievable. Hey, Paul. Yeah, you got it, buddy. You got it. Absolutely. Let's see. We got a question here from Max. Says it seems like houses are staying on the market longer, at least on Maui, even reasonably priced houses. That's interesting. You know, there's been a market change. Heidi, you want to kind of hit that one? You're our real estate person over here. What's your sense? Has there been any change? Are houses staying a little bit longer on the market in Maui? Especially now, there's been another interest rate boost. You want to give Max 317 a quick update on that?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been a real estate market shift, especially compared to 3 or 4 months ago. I mean, with interest rates, the economy, there are less buyers in the market right now, and things are slowing down a little bit. We still have very low inventory, so the prices are remaining quite strong. And I mean, you might see some things staying on the market a little bit longer, which means a little bit more opportunity for buyers. But I mean, I wouldn't expect any big discounts at this point. I mean, our overall inventory is still very low compared to historic levels.
So a little bit of movement, but it's still a pretty a relatively tight market. All right, hey, let's move on. We're going to take a question that was submitted earlier, and this is kind of fun here. So this is from Heather. Heather sent this from Long Beach, California. Heather, if you are with us, give us a shout out. If you're not, you had a great question anyway. And she says, "Look, I'm taking a trip to Maui with friends and family in September. What are some handicap accessible activities we can do? My friend uses a roller walker. Thanks." So why don't we take this, Liza? Why don't you kind of start us out with this one? How would you respond to Heather's question? Where would you go for, if you have a handicap accessible or roller walkers? Kind of, what would you recommend for Heather?
Okay, well, usually I ask, "Oh, where are you staying? South side or west side?" But one thing that came to my mind is luau. You know how when people come to visit Maui, luau is really a fun thing to do. And my tip or advice is to call ahead of time. Make the reservation early, and you have to tell them that we have a friend that's coming with us who's using a roller walker. So they don't sit you on the, ground sitting. They will make sure that you're taken care of. So that's the nice thing about here is, if you just call ahead of time and let them know that restaurants are very accommodating. So you can try a lot of restaurants, and that will be a fun thing to do. And also you can go on a cruise. One tip is to go through the harbor when you're choosing some kind of sail trip going on, like Trilogy maybe, instead of going out, because some of the cruises are going out from the ocean, on the shore. And you don't want that because that will be hard for your friend. But if you go in a harbor, they're accommodating. They will find a way wherein she can walk in there carefully and safely. So those two are some of the, top things that I suggest. But there's some more. So I think, even with a roller walker, you'll have a lot of things to do on Maui.
Excellent. Thanks for that. I'm going to get Heidi before we get to you for a second. I want to give a quick response to Shelley Paul. I thought this was living in Maui. Yes, it is about living in Maui. Is also living in Hawaii. If you're living in Maui, you are living in Hawaii. But yes, Shelley, this is a Maui focused show. We have our expert author who's with us, Liza, and we have our expert Maui real estate contact here, which is Heidi Dellinger. So this is all about Maui. You are in the right place, Shelley Paul. If you have a question about Maui, pop in because we are talking about Maui. Uncle Jim is back with us. Aloha kakahiaka. Everyone, big welcome to your guest. Yes, it's Liza Pierce who's with us, and we are really stoked to have her with us. Max responded, thanks, Liza, for the great comments on the roller. Max says, Kanapali Beach and Whalers Village are great for people with ADA needs. I think the simple idea that you gave, Liza, was like, hey, just call ahead. and the luau is a great one. That's an excellent idea. Heidi, how do you respond? What's your advice for Heather, who wants to have some roller walkers, ADA compliant, that kind of thing? What would you tell Heather?
Well, a friend of mine visited Maui recently with her mom, and her mom doesn't normally use a wheelchair, but they rented a wheelchair. There's places that you can rent them. And they said it was great because they were able to take her all around Lahaina and shopping and go farther distances and faster. And that worked out great for them. Um, as far as things to do, I think there are some accessible paths. I mean, I would probably recommend checking this again before you go, but over at Eau Valley, and maybe Liza knows about this too. And also just going on, one of the really fun things to do on Maui is going on driving adventures, like driving up to the north side, Kahakaloa, driving to Hana. I mean, there's lots you can see from a vehicle too. So maybe going on some kind of driving tour, and I mean, going up to Haleakala. And a lot of the adventure is really driving and looking out the window. So those would be fun things to do with somebody that's not super mobile.
That's actually a really good idea about the drive. I did, I mean, not, I've never thought about this context to begin with, so it's a little bit of a new thought to me. But yeah, driving is a great thing you can do and have a wonderful time, beautiful views. The road to Hana is an amazing piece. So excellent. Let's see. Let's move on over here. Let's get our next topic that we have, and the next topic is best place to stay in Maui. And so this is another kind of a topic. Why don't we, Heidi? You spoke last, so why don't we go with Liza Pierce? What's the summary of the best place to stay in Maui?
Okay, the best place to stay is in accordance to what kind of vacation you want to have on Maui. Okay, so here's what I mean. If you're a first time visitor on Maui and you want to explore a lot of things, like in the resort, I would suggest stay on the west side, Ka'anapali, Lahaina, um, even Kapalua. Some people will say it's a touristy side of Maui, but it's still so beautiful. But it's very, very convenient. So that's, the west side, Kanapali, Lahaina. But if you want a more quiet, laid back, I usually suggest go on the south side, Kihei, Wailea. And there's still a lot of things to do. There's still, they're both beautiful, but it's not as crowded, in my opinion, as on the Kanapali side.
Excellent. So that's a great contrast between the west side and the south side of Maui. Heidi, what's your advice? I'd be curious, Heidi, about what's your favorite hotel if you're going to stay like somewhere in hotel. I'd like to know, but whatever else that you want to share, Heidi. In addition to that, I just want to know just offhand, what hotel would you stay at as well?
Oh, wow. I mean, this is such a hard question to even think about answering because there are so many unique and wonderful places to stay. And there's a lot of vacation rentals on Maui that are privately owned condominiums and homes and different resorts. So it takes some exploring, but I mean, like Liza said, think about what is important to you. Like, do you want to walk outside and jump in the ocean and be right there? Are you looking to be in a quieter community? I mean, there are just some amazing places to stay. I would probably stay in a vacation rental personally rather than a hotel or resort if I was planning my own trip. I just want to add one thing about South Maui and Kihei. I mean, there are some areas where it's quieter, but there's also this one area called the Triangle where all the bars are, and I would say that's not a quiet area. Yeah, so if you're looking for something quiet, don't stay around there. But yeah, I mean, even for my own family, I mean, I can't say that there's one best place to stay on Maui because I'm aware of so many. So
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I've had my Maui holds a very very special place in my heart because it is the first place where I touched down. My very very first experience in Hawaii was Maui, and so a lot of very very fond memories of that very first visit. It was transformational, changed my life completely. And but late in later years, I remember we stayed, if I'm not mistaken, we stayed at the Grand Wailea. I'm more of the resort, kind of guy. I'm more of the vacation rentals kind of cool. I could definitely see vacation rentals makes a lot of sense, but like when our family goes on vacation, I want to be at a resort where I can just kind of hang out and kind of not have to go anywhere, not have to do anything, just kind of enjoy the thing. So we really enjoyed the Grand Wailea, but there's of course lots of there's amazing places to stay, and the whole Kaanapali area is really amazing. It is the Waikiki sort of Maui for sure, but you got it. That beach is an amazing beach, and it's just incredible. Certainly at various times of the year. All right, good. Hey, gang, if you got any more questions, pop them in the chat. We'd like to hear about them. That notwithstanding, we are gonna move on to the next. Oh, I want to give a quick. I put this earlier on the screen, but a shout out to Auntie Judy here. Judy, Heidi, you're right. The international gardens at the base of the Iao Valley are gorgeous and would be perfect for ADA friends. Great. Thank you, Judy. Thank you for that confirmation. This is the great part about the Ohana here. Everyone chimes in, and feel free, folks, to chime in and give us your best advice. If you've had the experience on Maui, and what have you seen? What do you feel? This is part of what the whole network is all about. All right, let's go to the next one here. The next one here is shopping. Okay, so this is really cool because this is where I really feel I'm in the company of experts here, because guys are clueless on shopping. We don't care about shopping. We just want to, guys just want to, all we want to do is we just kind of want to go in, get what we want and get out of there as fast as possible. Guys aren't shoppers, but women are much better shoppers than men are. Why don't we have Liza? Why don't you kind of start us off? Where would you say is the best shopping on Maui?
I am a big fan of farmers market and swap meet. In farmers market, you're supporting the locals, but you also get all this fresh fruit and vegetable that you probably don't have in the state where you're from or the country where you're from. So go find in my book. In my book, I listed a lot of the different farmers market you can find on Maui and their features and where you can find them. So so farmers market is the place to get a lot of fresh produce. For shopping like clothes and souvenirs and accessories. Every Saturday, there's a swap meet in Kahalui, but also there's a great one upcountry, which is very famous. They've been there for a long time, upcountry farmers market, and they have a lot of different things too. And then not to forget, of course, the Lahaina area. It's just the experience of the whole Lahaina shopping, going to different stores, art, not just clothing, art and souvenirs. Lahaina Front Street is a place to go. And if you want a little bit more eclectic, Paia and Makawa, they have a lot of boutiques that you will enjoy going around there.
Excellent. Boy, that's a great overview. I'm sure that people are going to really, for the folks that just joined us, Liza, what is the title of your book? If I was to go find it on Amazon, what would I search for on Amazon?
It is Maui 2021 and beyond.
Maui 2021 and beyond. Excellent. Yeah, good. So if you folks want the details, there you go. The details about that, and look, and Auntie Joyce agrees. Nailed it, Liza. I'm a big fan of supporting local vendors. Yeah, exactly. Max, who said guys are clueless about shopping? I did. I'm the guy. I said Old Town Lahaina has amazing shops and art galleries. Yeah, I'm sure it does. Thanks, Max. I'm the guy that said it. I'm the guilty party. Heidi, what's your advice on shopping? Where do you go, or what advice do you have in addition to what Lisa has already shared for us?
Well, I think Liza shared some amazing advice, and I totally agree. The Upcountry Farmers Market is a great farmers market to visit. And I did want to add art galleries. If you like shopping for art, Lahaina, it's an amazing spot to shop for art. There's a lot of galleries all together. You can just walk down the street. and see a lot of amazing things. Um, on Sundays in Lahaina, there's also it's called the Maui Gift and Craft Fair. It's an outdoor market, a lot of local artists there. And personally, I love going to the little shops in Makawao and Paia. Um, just they have great jewelry shops and local art and little boutiques, and that's kind of fun. The main shopping malls, there's two kind of main upscale shopping malls, and that would be Whalers Village in Kaanapali, and then shops at Wailea in Wailea, and those are great shopping spots as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Heidi, for that. Let's see. We have a chime in here from Rawhide. Rawhide says, I remember dining at a nice restaurant in Lahaina that was just above an excellent luau. The food was good and the view was great. Yeah, that is the cool thing about Lahaina, right? You can get. I remember ages ago when we stayed, we went to a restaurant, and it was one of those restaurants that was like right near the water or overlooking the water or whatever, and it was just wonderful. It's a great part. I love restaurants with ocean views are tough to beat anywhere, but certainly in Hawaii. Great, excellent. Okay, let's see. We're halfway through. Good. We're doing good. We're doing good on time. We're gonna keep it to under an hour. So if you have any questions, you want to kind of send those questions in now, so we can kind of get them on the show. Paul, I'm glad I gave you a good chuckle there, buddy. All about it. So let's move on. So here's another question that we got. Now this one was kind of funny. Shelly, if you're here, are you? Is that you, Shelly Paul? So Shelly, Shelly from Ontario. Ontario, Canada said, I'm Canadian. What do I need to know about living in Maui that I don't already know? So, so I would probably, here's what I would probably say. It was, that's a genuine question. I think it was a joke. I thought it was funny. I thought I'd add it on. And so this is like a really good off the wall one. What do you need to, what do you need to know that you don't already know? Well, that's a really good one. So let's do this. So Heidi, what would you say is something about Maui that almost guaranteed Shelly doesn't know? What would you say? Some little hidden, it's a tough one, right? Because we don't know what Shelly knows. Shelly, you could very well know everything. It's certainly possible that you know everything. But so what would you say, Heidi, that what doesn't Shelly know almost guaranteed?
Well, I certainly don't know everything about Maui, so I mean, I'm not really sure about that question, what in particular. I've lived on Maui for over 8 years, and I'm still learning things every day, and discovering new places. And that's one of the things I love about it. I mean, once you've been to Maui a few times, I mean, you probably hit some of the top tourist spots, top beaches, but I mean, there are so many cool hikes to go on here. I certainly have not been on all of them. There are a ton of beaches. I mean, besides the main beaches that you probably hear about. So there's always new things to discover. I mean, that's what I love about it.
So what do you think would be, so give me like a Maui, from your perspective, Heidi, from your perspective, what's like a Maui secret, like a little known thing that people won't know? And we don't have to give the geolocation and the exact GPS coordinates of where to get there, but what would you kind of say is a secret as far as you're concerned, Heidi?
Well, some of the I was actually learning this. We have a friend who is a tour guide who has his own tour company, takes people on private tours to Road to Hana. And during COVID, we were lucky enough to go on one of his tours. And what I learned was there are flowers out in the woods that you can just pick and rub in your hands and use them for shampoo. There's this shampoo flower. I thought that
Awapuhi. There you go.
that was really cool. And just learning about all the plants and trees and flowers. I mean, really, really fascinating.
That, thank you, Heidi. That is an excellent one. So, hey, for those of you that are with us right now, did you know that there are flowers? I'd be curious if you folks knew that. Did you know that there's flowers you can pick and rub them on your hair like shampoo? That would be an amazing question. I love that. Absolutely love it. Gang, I'd like to know, is that you? Did you know? I'd like to know if you knew that. That'd be really cool. Quick shout out first to Megan. Thank you, Megan. That's so kind of you to do that. The links don't work. There's a security thing kind of built into the system where people can't post links. But Megan said, tried the Amazon link, but not sure that worked. Just ordered Liza's book. There you go. So Lisa, excellent, right? Looking forward to reading it. Countertop installs are here, so have to run. Hey, Megan, I'm so glad that you joined us. It was completely awesome that you were here. So terrific. So Heidi, see, there you go. Paul didn't know, and Paul lived in Hawaii for quite some time, if I'm not mistaken, right, Paul? And Chris Longley, no clue until now. There you go. See, and Uncle Jim didn't know either. Nope, not me. Good to know. Mahalo, Heidi. So there you go. That's a really cool thing. That's an excellent piece of information there. Andy George said, "Hey, Shelly, you need to know it's a lot warmer in Maui than Canada in winter." Yeah, Auntie Joyce, I think she knows that. I think Shelly knows that. I do think Shelly knows that. So hey, Lisa, what would you say is a secret thing that people that Shelly probably doesn't know about Maui? What would you say that is?
Okay, first, I'm curious if Shelly is visiting or living here on Maui. There was somebody who asked, and said, I thought this is about living on Maui. So maybe some of our viewers are, waiting for us to talk about living on Maui, not just visiting. So my answer is going to be for both visitors and living here on Maui. And the secret is, or one thing that maybe some of the new ones here on Maui, new arrivals or newcomers, don't know, is that you will always be a guest here on Maui. That's general in Hawaii too. So if you're not native, then you're a guest, and then we have to respect the natives. But the great thing about it, and here's the tip that you might not know, is find a native Hawaiian to be friends with, and then you will know a lot more things that you don't know about Maui or Hawaii that even I can't tell you. And so that's my experience when I came here. It's just having friends that are native Hawaiians. They have so much wisdom that they can share with you. So, whether visiting or living here, that's my tip.
Excellent. And I do think it's Shelly. Shelly Paul is the one, because she says I do, meaning that she did know about the flowers and shampoo. That's pretty cool, Shelly. So that you very well may know everything. It's certainly possible. It's very possible. Visited for years and up to 3 to 6 months at a time. And she's thanks you for that. Thanks you for that. So yes, excellent. That's a really good tip. And Auntie Joy, swear I was kidding, Shelly. I kid, but that's what we get to have fun here, right? That's what this part of, we have to have a good time. It's all part of it. And that's excellent. So here's something that I'll throw it out as a trivia question. Maybe I may not have the exact wording, but there's this place in Maui. To me, it's like one of the most beautiful places I remember it 40 years ago, like it was yesterday. One of the most beautiful places I've ever been to this day. And there's a sign outside of this place. And I don't know if the sign is still there, but it was there when I was there. This was 1983. And there's a sign outside of this place, and it says, if you're looking for paradise, you have found it. It is here. So trivia question. Shelly, do you know where that place is? So here's what I want to know. Shelly, right to you. Do you know where that place is? There's a sign outside that says, if you've looked for paradise, or if you found paradise, if you look for paradise, it is here. Where is that place? And we'll come back to that later. We'll come to that later and see if I'm curious if Heidi knows that or if Lisa knows that. It's probably a really popular place. I just kind of found it as a stupid tourist at the time as I was driving around. I had my wonderful adventure. But Shelly, I'd be curious if you know where that sign is. All right, let's move on. Let's get our next question. So, gang, look, if you got some questions, pop them in. We're having a good time. We have a little bit of time to go. Yeah, the whole no. That's not it, Shelley. There's a specific spot. There is a specific spot that has that sign right outside, and it's actually it's a very historic spot in Maui. Very, very historic spot in Maui, and we'll find out if that sign is still there, or if Lisa and if Heidi still know what that is. All right, so yeah, see exactly. I think I got you, Shelley. I think I got you. I think I got something that you didn't know about, but we'll find out. We'll find out if it's true. We're not really sure. Okay, so let's talk about everyone's favorite topic over here, favorite beach in Maui. Now, I'm going to start this off by saying the favorite beach in Maui is that place right there that you are looking at, and that is Big Beach, McKenna Beach. I absolutely fell in love with Maui at McKenna Beach. I think my first visit was for a week. I would go there every single day. I was absolutely blown away. Now, this is back in the early 80s. And so there's a dirt road. There was no development there at all. I haven't been there since, so I'm sure it's all, I saw hotels there and things like that. But when I was there in the 80s, there was nothing around there. And it was a long dirt road to have to get there that was in the middle of trees. And, as a guy coming from Chicago and going through that experience, just to get there was an experience back then. And I was absolutely blown away. So that's my favorite beach in Maui. Heidi, what's your favorite beach in Maui?
I do love Big Beach, but another beach I really love is Onaloa Beach or Ironwoods Beach in Kapalua. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous spot. And the it's not great for swimming. It's pretty good for surfing, but it's a gorgeous spot. And there's a walk, part of the coastal trail that goes along that beach. And it's one of my favorite beaches.
Now, why is it one of your favorite beaches?
I think different beaches have different temperaments. I know this sounds strange, but
hey, look, each beach has its own vibe. That's for sure, no doubt about it.
It's up in Kapalua. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit windier, more rocky cliffs, but you have this gorgeous white sand. And you actually kind of walk down the stairs to get to the beach, and it just has a good feel to me. But I mean, I love Kaanapali Beach too. Kaanapali Beach is a little calmer, has a little bit different energy. I mean, one of the beautiful things about Maui is, I think, visiting a lot of different beaches. I mean, I don't just go to one beach all the time. And then there's these little beaches by the side of the road that you can just pull over and go to. I mean, some of them, might not even really have a name or anything. You just are going to the beach.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Shelley likes Secret Beach. Okay. Well, thanks, Shelley. Secret Beach. Lisa, what's your favorite beach in Maui?
Can I say Little Beach? Not really, but I just want to throw that in because people are always talking about the Little Beach. Okay.
There's a secret about Little Beach. Maybe Shelley knows. Shelley, do you know the secret? What's the secret about Little Beach? Anyway, go ahead, Lisa. What's your favorite beach?
So for me, I'm a big fan of Keawe Beach, and it's close to us. So we're there maybe like 2 times a week. Just walk from our house to there. It's in between Kihei and Wailea. The sand is so soft. Excellent view, of course. Every beach got their view, but it's just a really chill kind of beach. Like what you said, every beach got different vibes. I am not a surfer. I'm not an active person on the ocean. I'm more on walking on the shore and dipping my toes on the water, but just walking back and forth, and I'm happy with that. And so that's my favorite beach, Keawe. But there's so much. It depends on what you want to do on the beach, right?
Yeah, like you said, well, Heidi likes the beach in Kapalua, and it's not so much of a swimming beach, but it's got a very special vibe. I think I know what you're talking about, Heidi and Shelley. Okay, so Shelley's got it, drumming and clothing optional. So yeah, so Lawrence who keeps talking about Greece and about Europe, because Lawrence is from Europe. Lawrence, yeah, well, we got kind of that's like our version of the European nude beach, so to speak. A Little Beach is that still must be a thing. It was back then. I remember, it's kind of funny because I didn't know about that, right? So I'm at this place called Big Beach. It was McKenna, and there's like a mountain. If you look Actually, if you could even see it in this shot right here. There's that little at the end of the beach there. You can kind of cross over that hump, and you cross over that hump in the distance there, and you're at Little Beach. I'm like, wow, okay, this is Maui for me, man. That's the first thing I thought of when I was going there. But anyway, yeah. Paul says it's true. Every beach has its own charm depending on what you want to do that day. Yeah, very very true. A beach for a body surfer is probably a really, really, really different kind than a beach for a walk, or a beach for a family, or all kind. And not just that, but the beaches change throughout the year, right? When I was there at the time, let's see, this was fall. McKenna was pretty mild, and but I know just from the place that McKenna faces, that place can get extraordinarily dangerous at the wrong time of the year. So it really kind of varies. Hey, if you're with us, and if you've been to Maui, I'd like to know what your favorite beach in Maui is. What's your favorite beach? If you've been to Maui and you got a favorite beach, pop it in the comments. We'd love to hear about it. All right. Look good. Great. Let's move on. So what we're kind of almost doing is we're loosely kind of following the chapters in Liza's book. There's a lot more details in there, but of course we're loosely following these chapters. And Liza, was very smart of you to come up with another book for people who would rather watch YouTube videos. That was actually a pretty brilliant move. I'm just curious, what's in the other book that you're coming up with? The journal book. What's gonna, why would someone want to buy that upcoming journal book? Just kind of curiosity.
Yeah, so it's more almost like a guided planner and guided journal. So there will be like questions to guide them on how to plan, and then they can fill it out. But there's not much detail in it. It's really whoever bought the book will fill out all the details from what they have watched on YouTube and learn from other books. It's creating their own vacation guide.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
I added journal. I think it's really good for people to journal their vacation because it's Maui memories, and it will stay there forever, and it's something they can share with their family too.
That's a really cool idea. You're right. You create a book that's based on the idea that people are going to watch a bunch of YouTube videos anyway. That's kind of a cool thing. That's neat. I wonder. Here's just popped this stream of consciousness popped in my head. That's all I can do. Put a bunch. If you haven't now, is the book published yet, or are you in the middle of?
It's still in the works.
Okay, so here's my 2 cents, and I'd be curious of what you all think about this idea. So Lisa's got this book she's writing. It's like a journal, mostly empty, where you can kind of do your planning and do your journaling. What about throughout the book, you put in a bunch of QR codes, and the QR codes go directly to YouTube videos that people may want to watch. Boom.
Excellent idea.
Pop that one in. Hey, maybe we'll co-write some other book like that. I like that idea. I like it. Of course I like it. I thought of it. Right. Okay. Yeah. It's all about me. It's all about me. All about me. Okay. All right. Let's move on. It's not about me. It's about you guys. Because I've just gone to Maui a bunch of times. It was the place where I went to. I fell in love with Hawaii. It was Maui that made me realize I'm moving here. Got off the plane, landed in the airport almost 40 years ago, touchdown. Got off at not Kaanapali. Geez, I forgot whatever it is.
The other airport, Kapalua?
No, the normal airport.
Kahului.
Yeah, thank you. Got off in Kahului. OGG, thank you. OGG. I wonder. Okay, Shelly, what does OGG stand for? Let's see if Shelly knows that, because I don't know that. That would be something that I don't know. Why they're called OGG, but it's Kahului. Kahului is the city, but OGG is the symbol. Shelly, why is that? And don't Google it. You can't Google it. That's not fair. That would be cheating. Anyway, got off the plane. Landed on the tarmac. Got off the plane. Back then, there was no. You walked on the tarmac. You walked on the plane. I don't know if it's still the same way or not. But I took one look. I saw the mountains towards Kapalua. I looked at the mountains over there and said, "I'm in heaven. I'm moving here." That was it. Just like that. Bam. And the rest is up there. Yeah, Shelly, it's the airport, but why are the codes OGG? They're like for example, Honolulu's HNL. That's obvious, right? But why is it OGG? What does OGG stand for? Right? Because for example, Chicago's airport, O'Hare Airport, is ORD. What's ORD for? ORD is for Orchard Drive. So see, I knew that. So anyway, okay. You too, Shelly. So, Shelly, have you moved to Maui? I'd be curious. Shelly's like the star of the show. We should have her on. Anyway, have you moved to Maui? I'd be curious. All right. Let's get to our next topic over here. We got a few minutes left. So, gang, make sure you get your questions in. If you don't know, there's something that you'd like to know about Maui, but are afraid to ask, this is the place where you want to ask it. So, let's hit the best eats in Maui. Heidi, you're the coffee connoisseur. Presumably, you're also the restaurant visitor. What's your favorite place? What's your favorite place in Maui to go eat, and why?
Well, my favorite restaurant on Maui is Mama's Fish House in Paia, and it's been one of the top restaurants on Maui since the late 70s, which I think is quite impressive. But the scenery, the view, the ambiance is just so incredible. It's definitely a special occasion place to go. I mean, it's quite pricey, but it's worth it. It's unique and the food and service is excellent. I love it. But there's also a lot of other places to go that are much more affordable as well. I mean, some of my local places I like to go are Moku Roots, which is vegetarian and vegan, miso fat sushi, um, the fish market in Honokwai. They have really fresh fish. I mean, you see them bringing the catch of the day in the front door and chopping it up and serving it. And compared to going to um, a like nice restaurant, I mean, it's affordable. I mean, you're basically sitting on a little table and chairs out by the parking lot, but the fish is amazing.
I'm a big fan of dive. I love dive restaurants, right? Those are my favorites. One of my Heidi, for some reason, when you brought that up, I don't know why I thought about this, but one of my favorite places is in Honolulu. I don't know if it's still there, but Cha Hung Sut, and Cha Hung Sut is the back door of a noodle factory, and so you're literally it's like a factory there. It's it's dirty, it's loud, it's junk, but man, the Simon was absolutely unbelievable. It was like really fun going there. I remember long story, which I'm going to skip. Before we move on to Lisa to get her favorite place to eat. Lauren says, Peter, what year have you been for the first time in Hawaii? 1983. 1983, before you were born, Lawrence, before you were born. And Paul says, yeah, brings back memories. When I got off the plane in Hawaii, my first thought was, I am home. Yeah, that's what I felt. That's what I felt. I was like, not so much. I didn't think about the home part, but it's like, okay, I'm moving here. This is it. This is the greatest place. Shelley says, no, but we'll love to retire there. Looking at 6 months Vancouver Island, British Columbia, and 6 months Maui, renting at a friend's. Shelley, you would be like many other Canadians. We call them snowbirds. A lot of folks I know from Canada, they come out, they stay for the coldest parts of the Canadian winter, and then they go back. And so that is a well known thing in Hawaii, the Canadian snowbirds. Lisa, what's your favorite restaurant? Where's your favorite place to go eat? What's it for you?
Okay, so Heidi mentioned Mama's Fish House because, of course, we have to mention that it's expensive. I would say that save money for that when you go there, but try it because it's excellent. And then another good next to the beach restaurant is Pacifico on the beach, which they had changed management. There's a new management. Chef Isaac is excellent, and yeah, so that's an alternative if you cannot, get the reservation at Mama Fish House and you want some similar experience. Then Pacifico on the beach, try that. Um,
What's
so
your
those
favorite
are
dive? What's
the
your
more
favorite dive restaurant? I'm sorry. What's your
I was
favorite
gonna say
dive
those are the
restaurant?
more expensive, but food trucks on Maui are great too. I mean, they are run and owned by gourmet, by chef that you get gourmet food when you order. So there's one pod. There's so many pods now here on Maui, but there's one pod in across from Costco gas station on Maui in Kahalui, and they have various food trucks there that are excellent. Havens is one of them. They have noodles and smash burger. Tie Me Up. Everyone knows about Tie Me Up. It's um, owned by somebody who was a chef at Mama's Fish House. So it's like you're having the food from Mama's Fish House here on the food truck place.
Tie Me Up as a Mama's
Tie
Fish
Me
House
Up.
chef. All right. I have to,
Yes.
there
And
you go.
then one more thing that I want to mention is Tin Roof, owned by the famous Chef Sheldon, and it's also close to the airport. It's like what you were saying. This place, you don't even have a sitting place. You just go there. There's always line. There's always people wanting to buy the food, but the food is excellent. So you just go order and then go to a place where you can eat them. Some you will see on the sidewalk. People are sitting and just eating their food there because it's so good. But so Tin Roof. And here's another tip. It's quite new. Chef Sheldon and his wife actually just took over Tiffany's. Tiffany's is this old restaurant, local restaurant here that old people, or what do you call veteran people here on Maui knows. But now
The
it's a new
kupuna.
management.
You say the kupuna. No,
The
it's a,
Kupuna
there you go.
knows,
There you go.
and what do you call that? The long-time residents,
Right. Kama'aina.
locals.
Kama'aina.
Kama'aina. And now they just announced, or they just had this grand opening, that Chef Sheldon is now the chef or the owner of Tiffany's. It's in Central. And so that's something that if you want the place to sit down when you're eating, the food cooked by Chef Sheldon instead of just on the sidewalk, then that's an alternative. I haven't been there, but I'm looking forward to trying it.
That sounds, man. Those are some great tips over. I'm still thinking about Tie Me Up is the Mama's Fish House chef. That was a great review of restaurants. Man, thank you. Hope that's in the. I'm sure that's in the book. But if it's not, put the QR code to this segment that we're doing right now. Put that in your next book because people are going to want to know about that. Shelley Paul likes a Paia Fish Market. Okay, Paia Fish Market. We're getting some nods on that. All right, excellent. And Paul says, Peter, the Mega Million lottery is up to 1 billion tonight. If I win, I'll be contacting. Paul, if you win, I'm going to say a special prayer for you to win. And if you do win, I want a 5%. I need a 5% cut, just 5%, just a little, just 5%. 5% is all, a little teeny tiny bit, 5% of a commission. Steve has come up with the answer. So Steve, I don't know. I'm curious. Did you know that or did you Google it? It doesn't matter. Thanks for the answer. I didn't know. Name for the airport was named for Jim Hogg. I'm going to pronounce it Hogg. Maybe it's Hogue. Jim Hogg, and a Hawaiian Airlines pilot. Therefore, the OGG. Excellent. Never knew that. Did not know that. And Paul, I'm going to take that as a confirmation. I'm going to get my 5% if you win the billion. So I'm looking forward to that. We are gonna pray to the Hawaiian lottery gods. That's what we're gonna do. We're going to pray to the Hawaiian lottery gods. And look at that. You even got a marriage proposal. Paul, if you win, let's get married. Boom. Look at that. Right. Right here. Heidi, we've been doing a show for like years now, right? No one's ever made a proposal over the show. So that is a first and part of the fun. You guys are great. Excellent. All right. And look, and he's even agreed. So look at that. There you go. We're doing it. We're doing it. And and if it happens, I want to have we're going to have Liza be the one who's going to tie the knot for the two of you guys.
I was just going to say, get married on Maui, please.
Yeah, get married on Maui. And so Liza, you'll have to do it. You have to get like registered as an official marriage person. Get the marriage license. Excellent. But this is so much fun. You guys are okay. So let's do this. We just got 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes left. I think what I want to do is I kind of want to put the let's get some closing thoughts because we don't have a lot of time. I'm going to give you all the slides that you're going to miss because we don't have time, and these are going to be in the book. You're going to have to buy the book. So what's that book again, Liza?
It's Maui 2021 and Beyond.
There you go. Maui 2021 and beyond. That's the book you want to get. And so, look, we were gonna talk about the best sunset place in Maui. We were gonna talk about a Maui safety tip. We were gonna talk about the top cultural tip. We were gonna talk about the best haleakala tip. We're gonna talk about the best advice for the road to Hana. So we're gonna have to skip all that because we don't have time. So instead, we're just gonna jump right here to this. And here's the question I've got for Heidi and for Liza. Liza, why don't we start with you on this? Why Maui? There's a famous, a well-known local saying called Maui no Ka'oi. Maui no Ka'oi means Maui is best. So I'd like to ask you, Liza, why do you think Maui is best for you? Why do you think Maui is best for you?
Well, it's a combination of the people and the nature. So if you have both of those together that are really kind of lifting me up, then that's no kaoi, right? So I love the beach. I love sunsets. There's just something magical about Maui sunset that I love so much. And then the people are so full of aloha that, this is just paradise for me. And so that's my no kaoi.
That is your Nokoya. All right, sounds great. And by the way, Uncle Jim says Peter ask her to come back. So there you go. You got the gang. So she's popular. Excellent. I could see why, Jim. Lisa, it's been great to have you here with us. I'm so glad that we did this. We planned this like I think we talked about doing this like last year sometime. And
Yep,
and then
exactly. About a year
I
ago.
had right. I was in the middle of a project. I couldn't do it. Then you were in the middle of a project. And we finally did. So I'm so glad we did. Heidi, why is Maui no Ka'oi for you?
Well, I visited all the islands, and for me, Maui is kind of the right balance of being quiet and laid back, but still having plenty to do. Living on Maui is like living in a big, small town. I grew up in a small town, so I like that aspect of it, but we also have amazing restaurants and culture because of all the tourism. But I just love the culture of practicing aloha and being conscientious and kind, and that's such a big part of the culture. And I love that. I mean, it's a sense of community. I feel peaceful here, and of course, I mean, the nature is beautiful. Like being close to nature is something very important to me, and I connect with that as well living here.
Well said, Heidi. I could totally see where you're coming from a small town where Maui is like the perfect mix. It's like the small town version in Hawaii, but not too small. It's just right, kind of right in between over there. And Heidi, you and I both share a shared past. We're both from the state of Illinois. I was from the city of Chicago. So for me, Maui was awesome, but I needed a little bit more of the city, which is why I moved to Oahu, which has Honolulu. So to me, I was like very comfortable. It was a great version of the city. Everyone's got their own reasons. Paul's happy. Paul, thanks, guys. It was fun, and you're all invited to our wedding. Hey, man, can't wait to see it. That would be amazing. That would be amazing to kind of see. I think I'm going to close with it. So, okay, I'm going to close with the question that I had earlier, and it's probably why I would say why I loved Maui. One of the reasons why I fell in love with Maui so much. Remember, I asked earlier. I said, "Hey, what's that place that has the sign that says if you're looking for paradise, you have found it is here?" That is the Lindbergh Estate. It is a place. It is a secret little. And I don't know if it's still there or whatever. But there's a place called the Lindbergh Estate. I don't know if it's still there or not. Is it there? Is the Lindbergh?
I think so, in
Okay.
Hana, right?
It's in Hana, yeah. So Heidi, have you been to the Lindbergh Estate?
I have not, no.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, well, I'm glad you had fun, Shelley. That's what it's all about, right? We got to have a good time over here. And it's been great. So the Lindbergh Estate is just this idyllic, it's just incredible, like a lush a tropical rainforest right near the water in Hana, and it looked like what you imagine paradise would be. And to drive up, and here's this young kid, is 20 years old, and come from Chicago. First time I've ever been kind of anywhere really in my life other than Greece, when I would go to Greece in the summers with my grandparents. But here I am, I'm in this place, and I drive there, and it's just this amazing, beautiful, lush. And you read this sign, and the sign says, if you're looking for paradise, you have found that it's here. I'm like, what? And it was just an amazing piece. And so that's what I would say was why Maui is best for me. Auntie Joyce, we're glad to have you here. Glad that you were a part of it. You guys all made this fun. And Shelly, Shelly was like the offline star of the show. So thanks, Shelly, for being a part of this, right? All right. So look, so we're going to say goodbye. And why don't we have Heidi say goodbye first, and then Lisa, you say goodbye. Say goodbye to everybody. We're going to end this, folks. You were all fantastic.
Bye, everybody. Aloha. Have a great weekend.
And bye. It's so much fun. Thank you for having me. Aloha.
It was great having you here, Lisa. We'll do it again, and y'all have a great one. Aloha.